Hello, this is Tim Campbell with Action Coach Business Coaching with my Survive and Thrive Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local business owners and promote them through my social channels and email database as a way to provide them exposure and to promote them locally. And through the interview, I also provide some coaching. This is a free service I'm doing because if we save every business, we save the economy. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Andrew. Welcome, Andrew. It's great to have you on the program today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Wonderful. Well, let's start with tell us a little bit about yourself and give us a commercial of your business and or your business opportunities.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be with you. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Adeniyi. I'm an author, consultant, and speaker. Went to IU Bloomington for undergrad, studied entrepreneurship and corporate innovation at the Kelley School of Business there. And went on to get an internship with an international grocery company, really. And that's where most of my background has been in retail operations. So that's been, I'd say, five or 6 years or so worth of experience in that arena. And then also have done consulting as an independent consultant, part-time and full-time off and on for the last 4 years, mainly doing business strategy, HR, as well as diversity and inclusion consulting. Most recently wrote a book called The Circle of Leadership. Very passionate about that. It took about 10 months from start to finish. And I really just wanted to help leaders win and to do so through improving a good organizational culture, or maybe it's a really bad organizational culture, or just tips that you can add on to your already good culture. So that is something that I'm very excited about and love to speak on a variety of business topics, all within the book. You can find the book on Amazon as well as my personal website, andrewadeniyi.com. I also have my master's from Michigan State University. It's a master's in management, strategy, and leadership, which are all things that I'm very passionate about.
Fantastic. So, Andrew, tell me, who is the book for? Like, who would benefit from it best? We call that a target audience.
Yeah. I really think of it's really 3 or 4 quadrants, right? It's leaders, entrepreneurs, or aspiring leaders and entrepreneurs. If you fall in any of those quadrants, you will definitely get a lot of value from the book.
Fantastic. Wonderful. So tell me, what's been the greatest impact that COVID has had on your business?
Man, I would say the increased focus on just self-development and self-care. And I think it's been things all non-related to business that have trickled over into business. So, I think about family life, the amount of time I've been able to spend with my 2.5-year-old and my 6-month-old, and, having my wife as a colleague, in the house, and being able to just go upstairs and connect with them. And I think that has really fulfilled me in a way that I'm not sure anything else really could. Even if you take a vacation, it's really not the same, certainly not for the same duration of time. So I would just say that dedication around family and ability to connect with family has made me feel full enough to really push some of the things that I'm pushing, such as the speaking that I do, or even the diversity and inclusion consulting, or even just simply talking about the book.
Yeah. So what are 1 or 2 things that you've had to do differently to be able to make a difference during this COVID crisis, and how are those things working for you?
Oh man, the obvious one is going virtual, right?
Uh-huh.
A lot of the speaking that I was planning to do would be in person, but that's all been virtual. I even think about my book launch. I had 3 different stops planned for my little book tour I was going to do, and they're going to be in person. I was going to record them, and it's just going to be this great opportunity. And obviously that all went out the window with COVID. So just being flexible, being willing and able to adapt and into this virtual society, because even when the pandemic is over, I think it's going to be critical for businesses and entrepreneurs to always have a virtual component within their playbook and in their toolbox. So that is the resounding number 1 change, I would say, for sure.
Fantastic. So here's an interesting question. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So what mistakes have you made along the way, and how can other entrepreneurs learn from your experience?
Oh, man. I interviewed a lot of people for my book, and Dr. Philip Powell, who works at IUPUI in Indianapolis, he said a quote that really resonated with me, and it was fail fast and fail forward. And that's kind of my mantra now. So you talk about what failures have really impacted me. There's a lot. And what I've realized in those failures is if you can reflect on them, you can embrace them and incorporate them and not be fearful of them, but really embrace them. You'll grow the most in those periods of time. So I think about, one thing I talk a lot about in the book is the intangibles and how as leaders, we can oftentimes forget about the intangibles, especially when things get busy or we're in crisis mode. But those things like remembering a birthday, remembering a spouse's name, how many kids they have, that there's a high school graduation coming up, just those little things that don't necessarily show up in the P&L. Those are the things that can truly move the needle the most. And there's been times in my career where I've done that exceptionally well. And then there's been times where I've taken my foot off the gas and been complacent, maybe let ego or pride or even arrogance come in at certain times. And when you realize that you have not led the people around you as well as you should have, that can, that's surely a failure that I can recall and think about.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I like that idea of fail forward. Our founder has a phrase that he says that he either succeeds or he learns. And I like that because it takes the whole premise of failure right out of the vocabulary, right? And he calls a failure a learning instead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about perspective and your attitude and how you choose to look at everything that happens in your life.
Fantastic. Yes, absolutely. So second last question here. I'm going to get your contact information so I can put that in the post so folks can reach out to you. Is there anything else that you'd like to include in that? Some folks have a special offer or a way to contact you. Anything that you want to share today?
I would just say if there's any space where I can speak and just share different principles on leadership and entrepreneurship, from hiring, accountability, delegation, to diversity and inclusion, to even mission statements and vision statements, and how do you get a good foundational purpose for your business or organization. Those are all things I'm very passionate about. So if you have a group, a situation or event where you think that could be beneficial, I would certainly be interested in helping out with that in any way. And if you definitely mentioned this podcast, I know you came through this, I would certainly like to look out and make you a really good deal for trying to connect with me.
Fantastic. So Andrew, last question here. Tell us what is most inspiring to you today during all of this craziness?
I would say the way the country has leaned into this conversation of diversity and inclusion and really tackling systemic racism and the social unrest that we've seen, regardless of how you view the things that are happening in society. I think we're seeing movement and we're seeing progression and we're seeing people come together. And I'm just excited that I've seen that translate into the business world and see so many leaders and CEOs and senior leaders recognize that they need to have a tangible plan of action for their organization to tackle that. And if they don't, it's going to have some economic consequences and some public backlash that can, quite frankly, really damage your business. So just seeing how all that has transpired over the last several months, I think is something that I will never forget and hope that businesses will continue to build on.
Fantastic. Well, Andrew, that concludes the interview. For those listening, if you heard something in this interview that maybe you're struggling with or could benefit from talking through more, I do offer a complimentary coaching session for folks. So I'll include that information in this post as well. Andrew, it's been a pleasure learning a little bit about you and your company, and I wish you tremendous success on your new book. And hopefully you'll be able to get out there and have your book launch in person as opposed to exclusively virtually.
Fingers crossed. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, have yourself a fantastic day.
All right. Take care.
Bye now.